Welcome back to Game On. We're back after a week off, and kicking things off, we had the Colac Tigers 36-point winners over St Albans, and it was their defence that was relentless, keeping the Super Saints just 4 points for the first three quarters.
Yeah, it was really windy down at St Albans, so it was just one of those wins where you got to go in and get the job done. And games against those lower sides, it's about building good habits. And I think what the Tigers did well was winning the ball at the contest, getting it from inside to out. It was probably just our polish going inside forward 50, despite the conditions, probably wasn't up to scratch. But yeah, Army said in the paper that the defence was relentless, and they were. But I think the forward pressure is what I saw that was really elite. It was probably an area of weakness in previous years, that I identified. But this year under 7 Army, that's really improved. And then, some notable players for the week. Jack Skinner, again, Army mentioned him in the paper. He had 21 disposals, 16 intercept possessions, and 8 of those were intercept marks. So those are terrific numbers. Seb Ross back in for his first game. After that hamstring injury, he had 21 disposals, 8 intercept possessions. And then Ben McCarthy, standard, good again, had 21 disposals and 8 clearances.
For Tigers netball, 2 wins in a row for the Tigers. Big win against St Albans, 61-33. Tigers started really hot, guys. 5 goals allowed in the first quarter, only 12 by the half. So it took a really good lead into the break, and they never actually trailed throughout the game.
Boys thought Jessie Lang's work in goal attack was a large factor in the win. She shot 25 goals from 37 shots in pretty tough conditions for goal shooters.
Yeah, and Georgia Finn was another one that was lauded by Boyce. That's 2 wins now from her 4 games with the side. Boyce said her length and anticipation was really first class for the side, but it was a team effort that helped her get the win. And I think there's more news on the Tigers netball front.
Yeah, and probably the biggest news coming out of Tigerland from the weekend was David Boyce's re-sign for 2026, which is great continuity for a young group, and good on him for going around again after probably what's been a tough year.
Albi's given its finals aspirations a valuable boost with a dominant 62-point win over South Colac. The win keeps Albi really in contention for a top 3 spot come finals time, and it probably sends a real message to the league that they're still a genuine premiership contender. Yeah,
exactly. A 3-1 second term against the win for Albi probably set the tone for the rest of the game. It kept the Roos to just 2 goals.
Yeah, and Swans coach Shane Quick said that his big takeaway from the game, or the most pleasing aspect, in his opinion, was every player's effort just coming out the fixture. Beauregard defeated Simpson by 15 points on the weekend, and assistant coach Will Hutchison stood in for Dave McNeil as head coach on the weekend. He said that Simpson's physicality made it quite difficult for them after the first quarter to really get into their game and play as they normally would.
And the Saints, they burst out of the blocks with 5 goals to 1 opening term, but the Tigers really clawed their way back into the contest with 3 unanswered goals after that.
Yeah, the Saints just took a 10-point lead into that final term there, but it was enough to get them over the line and snap a 3-game losing streak.
Lawn defeated the Otway Districts by 51 points. Lawn assistant coach Bryce Vincent said that it was a really good game for the lesser-known players of the Dolphins squad to put their hand up. Star captain Oscar Coots led from the start, but it was players like Miles Fletcher, Adam Costello and Clayton Ryan that earned that praise from Vincent. The Demons kept the game interesting at halftime with 14 points being the difference between the two, but the reigning premiers kept the D's scoreless in the second half.
A dominant 6-goal haul from the midfield for Colac Imperials. Coach Bailey Scott helped the Cats to a 110-point win over the Western Eagles. It wasn't all one-way traffic for the Cats though. The Eagles proved they played their best footy in the first quarter, but it wasn't enough for them to be able to hold on against the Imperials.
Yeah, and Illawarra Biak celebrated a 68-point win on their historic Biak Day. The Bombers donned the black and white Magpies colours in that win. The Hawks hang around sort of in the game till half time, but they just weren't able to put any scoreboard pressure on the Bombers with just 4 points at half time there. In the CDFNL netball, South Colac proved they've still got it, defeating Alvi by 16 goals, and the Roos jumped out the gate till half time with a 31-22 lead.
And Alvi actually come back in the third quarter and took a 1-goal lead before South Colac kind of fought their way back into the game and never trailed again.
Yeah, Roos coach Kelsey Jeffries said that Chloe Lang had an absolutely stellar performance on the weekend, commanding South's defence against an experienced Alvi attack, obviously. Maggie Eldridge went 41 goals from 48 shots for the Roos, and Helly Foster was 26 goals from 33 for the Swans.
Colac Imperials has found its winning form after returning from a loss to Birregurra before the bye with a 13-goal win over the Western Eagles.
Imps led from start to finish in this one, guys. Eagles did give them a tough run for their money, but that was only through the first 3 quarters. One goal separated the sides at half, but the Imps managed to pull away as the second half continued before closing out the final quarter to win 62-49.
Yeah, and just on a little bit of an injury catch-up, Bianca Whitson has returned for the last 2 games for the Imps after recovering from an ACL injury.
Lorna's jumped into 6th spot on the ladder, defeating Otway Districts 49-37. The 12-goal victory placed the Dolphins 2 points shy of a top 5 place. And Sade Stafford, she led the way for the Dolphins with 41 goals, while Bianca Morrow scored 22 for the Demons in the contest.
Yeah, and Aurora Biak had a dominant win over Apollo Bay, 82 goals to 29. Ruby Stevens stood out in wing defence, but Rachel Seabright was great. She had 42 goals from 47 attempts and was awarded the Barbara Stinchcombe Memorial Trophy for her best on-court efforts.
And Beauregard defeated Simpson 66-39. Wing defenders Taylor Edwards and Paris Murray had really good games, preventing ball access to Simpson's forwards. Tess Blake continued her hot run of form, surpassing the 40-goal mark for 3 games in a row. She went 48 from 54 shots on the weekend. Simpson have now fallen to 7th, as you said, Lorne jumping to 6th. They're a game behind 5th place South Colac, and they've got a challenging fixture this weekend against the 2nd placed Imps. In the Netball Hotshots, as I said, Tess Blake leads all scorers for the weekend with her 48 from 54 shots against Simpson. 2nd place, Kiara Foster, 43 goals from 49 shots against the Eagles. And in 3rd, Rachel Seabright with 42 from 47 against Apollo Bay.
Moving on to the Colac Otway Rovers now, the Division 1 side had a 1-2 loss to Bell Park. It was Oakley Balbonia who scored a consolation goal in the 90th minute for the side, while the Division 2 team had a 1-0 loss to Ocean Grove.
Division 3 nabbed a point against Deakin University in a 2-2 draw. Joelle Bell-Chambers scored the opening goal in the first half, while Nathan Haynes scored the equaliser in the 86th. In the women's football, it was a 3-0 loss to the Bellarine Sharks.
It was a great weekend for the Colac Braves. The Division 2 side had an 18-0 Mercy Rule win over the Ballarat Royals, and Michael Reid drove in 5 runs from 3 hits with a 3-run homer in the 4th inning there.
Yeah, and Josh Hay, he tossed 5 shutout innings while giving up just 3 hits and striking out 4 and walking 2. And the Division 4, a very exciting game for them.
Yeah, big old comeback win against their nemesis, their rivals, the Corio Tigers. The final score was 9-7, but they were down 7-3 at the bottom of the 2nd innings. The Braves did explode with a 5-run 5th innings to seize the lead before rounding out in the 6th with an extra run. Darren Morrissey came through in the clutch, driving in 2 crucial runs to cap off the comeback, and Jason Schramm set the tone at the top of the order for the Braves, going 3 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored. Now for the Colac Herald's Players of the Week. Guys, I'm going to start off, I'm going to go with Chloe Lang, bossing the Roos defence against an experienced Alvey attack. Kelsey Jeffries said that she did really good work helping young Jess Della manage the experience that Alvey gives you on any given week.
And for mine, it's Oakley Balboni. He's obviously been hampered by a niggly hamstring injury, but he got back on the score sheet for the Rovers this weekend against Bell Park.
Yeah, and I'm going to break the mould just a touch and go with the coach of the week this week.
Okay.
I'm going with David Boyce. He's re-signed for 2026, and yeah, that's fantastic news for the club. And I'm sure the girls will be happy to play under him next year.
Thanks for watching Game On. We'll be back next week with all the sporting action from the weekend.